second chance to say I didn't know. So today, I can't do a service without at least presenting it to you, putting it in your lap, and let you make that choice. And I've done my job, you see what I'm saying? Now the decision is up to each and every person that's here. For me, I made that decision 21 years ago, and I have to give credit to my higher power in my life today. Is the reason why I'm clean, and the reason why I've been out of prison for over 21 years, is because I turned my life over. Okay? So I have to at least put that out there to you. If you have any questions afterwards, you feel free to talk to me. You can talk to Tim here. You can talk to Phil over here. I'll throw you $100 too, bro. You know, if you have any questions, feel free to talk to us. Okay, but I had to at least go there and let people know. See, because when I pass away, I'm going to see Jeff again. For those of you who don't know, the Sunday before he passed away, he showed up to church here, and we had that talk. Phil's had to talk with him too. Whether or not, you know, he says yeah, I don't know. That's between him and God. But in my heart, I believe I'm going to see my brother again up in heaven. I honestly believe that. You know, there's some of us that are so-called Christians, but we don't act it. But I'm not the judge there. You know what I'm saying? God knows our hearts, and He's the judge, whether He accepts you or not. Okay? But I believe Jeff's there, and I'm looking forward to that day. As hard as this is to do this, you know, I'm at peace, because those of you who know he's been doing dialysis 3 days a week. They've already cut off legs, they've been cutting fingers off, they've been talking about cutting his other leg off. And you know what? He's at peace. I see him as a 33-year-old man, running around, jumping, got both legs, no problems with him, running around. He's up there with Mom, Pops, you know, and Michael Joe, a few other people, you know, Bobby Harris, and them.
Morning, Bobby.
You know, there's a lot of homeboys. That was another thing that got me, that really messed me up that night, is, damn, am I getting that age where a lot of our friends are going? And it gives you something to think about, you know, what am I gonna leave in this world? What kind of reputation? The old Larry, the drug addict convict, or the Larry that turned his life over to Jesus Christ? That's what I want, you know, well done, son. See, that's what I want to leave today. But all that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Jeff bringing me up here, putting me on a plane and bringing me up here. So I got to give the man that credit right there. Because if I would have stayed in Ontario, as some of you know how I am in Ontario, I wouldn't be here today. Trust me.
Neither would I.
Come on in, Johnny. Come on in. You're always coming in the wrong way, but come on. That's wrong way Johnny right there, in case you guys don't know. Thank you for showing up, bro. So anyway, I hope I'm not out of line by saying what I said there, you know, but it was on my heart to be able to say that, because I know how important it is to me. So at this time, I'd like to open it up. If there's anybody who would like to share a moment of being with Jeff with us, feel free to come on up. We got a microphone. And don't be bashful. We're all family here. You want to talk poo-poo about Jeff? Talk poo-poo. I don't care. You know? He's up there looking down and laughing at us. You know, because he's running around. He's not suffering no more. Trust me when I tell you that. So does anybody like to say anything?
Yeah,
You're the oldest.
You got to come to the
Get
mic.
up there.
Because we're recording it. Come on, Bill.
I think I got a little notice. Public speaking is not my thing.
It's on. You just got to talk into the mic. Don't be bashful, Bill.
Hello.
Yeah, you're on. Yeah.
So,
Mic.
I come here today to honor a good friend of mine that wasn't always a good friend of mine. I remember as we were little kids, maybe 13 or 14 years old, we would drive around the neighborhood or ride around the neighborhood on our bikes. And I lived around the corner from Deanza Park, and he lived down the street from Deanza Park, and so we would oftentimes meet about halfway, just riding around wondering who was doing what. you know, who was up and who was ready to go do something and maybe even go get into some trouble. Jeff was, no doubt, a Billy the Kid kind of guy. Everything he did it his way. And that's how he had to have things. And wherever he couldn't have things his way, he went to where he could have it his way. A modern day James Dean, you might say. We all remember what happened when he got his first car. Dad bought him a brand new Grand Prix right on the corner of Phillips and
Beautiful blue
where was it? Phillips and San Antonio. No, Phillips and Central.
Phillips and Central had it not more than an hour.
He didn't have it more than an hour. And T-boned another car. I mean, that's how he lived. He lived fast and furious. Jeff was the kind of guy that was, you know, you would think of him as being a little bit insecure sometimes in a lot of senses. But he was very determined. He was very determined to set himself apart, whether it be the baddest ass you ever seen, or somebody that nothing on this planet is going to scare me, and there's nothing that I can't do kind of person. You know, he didn't have all the abilities that he thought he may have had, but it didn't stop him 1 second from giving everything that he wanted a good try. Anyway, we were friends, and we did a lot of ventures. We drove back to Illinois in an RV together, and after he got out of the Navy, because all of his Navy buddies told him, hey, there's all kinds of pot just growing on the side of the road, and you can come back and get it. And we did, and we stuffed it inside of all the tires and drove all the way back out to California and took it all over at Mom's house and didn't even give a second thought how much we were violating her, and didn't even, you know, at that age, care. So anyway, we fast forward our lives, and in 1978, I moved up to Chico, California with a good friend of mine, Ricky Potts, and we had a great time. It was, you know, life was just getting started, and this is a time in my life that I really lost contact with Jeff. From 78 to 1989, when my son was born. My son is 27 years old, and when my son was born, Jeff just left Ricky Potts' house. He was going on his way up to Washington to meet Gary Miller and to be with him, and so he stopped by my place, but he was in such bad condition when he got to my house that he really didn't have any energy, any strength, any money, or any will or ability to do anything. So we built him a little shack out back, probably much to my wife's chagrin. As many friends of mine as I've had move up and live with me throughout the years, there's no more of that, by the way. Can't have no more friends, although I would take Rodolfo. Anytime you can come in my house, Rodolfo. I take care of him, yeah. So anyway, so anyway, he comes up and I'm, you know, we're working our way through it, and we're rehabilitating, and he's getting back up on his feet, and starting to show signs of health, and so we go over to Rodolfo. Used to have a little taco truck that was the best taco truck in Chico. There was nothing even close to compare to it. That's when his kids, Rodolfo was in, Rudy was, and Valente, and everybody was just little kids looking over the wheel, can I take your order? Yeah, I remember. And so Rodolfo he saved up his money because he's a hard-working man, and he built himself a restaurant right next to, when he bought the corner property there, and he was having it built, and it was looking good, and we were all excited, and it ended up getting ripped off. Somebody that didn't, you know, went and spent a bunch of his money and didn't give him any goods for the money that he'd given him. And Jeff, what a perfect entrance to bring Jeff into Rodolfo's life, because he was able to help finish the stucco and finish off the inside of the restaurant. And you know, he didn't make a lot of money, but he did, and he made good friends with these gals over at Home Depot. I didn't never know that he was kind of a Lance Romance, but once he gets on a bead, let me tell you, there's nothing's going to stop the man. I mean, he was determined, and so he was as though it were, you know, he was recovering and had a job and things were looking good, and so he was enthralled with this gal. I even forget what her name was, but he bought her some oak, and he built a beautiful oak chest, and he was all excited about it. And, you know, that was what he was. He was really on the top of his game, because he was enjoying a little bit of life, unlike he had probably in quite some time because of the various addictions. And by the way, my hat's off and praise the Lord for Jordan Crossing Ministry, because my daughter just went through a year's worth of that and is on the recovery, living back at home, got her job back. The Lord can really do a lot of work in an individual's life if you just give them the opportunity, as Larry has said, to come in and be a part of it. He does love us, and he's done everything that he can to possibly prove that. All we got to do is get off of our pride and get off of our will and realize what we are in God's sight. Come to the end of ourself. What manner of man is he that would not give up that for which he cannot lose? Eternal life. The most valuable thing you can ever go away with out here. But he was full of joy, and he was building this box for this gal. Then he bought himself a truck, and he brought it home and put it in the backyard, took it back car, taking that thing completely apart. I think he taught my son how to take stuff apart. He had the cab on that thing, the doors off of it, the back end off of it. He was going down to the bare bones, and he was cleaning it up. And I even forget what year it was. It was probably an 82. It was baby blue, and he polished it all up, and he got it going, and that was his work truck. And grew a little bit more, got his contractor's license, started doing really, really good, making a lot of money, building a lot of houses, built himself his own house, just determined and just going for it. Helped the local build another restaurant along the way, and pretty soon, you know, there's an accumulative effect that happens to us in this life. Though the outward man is perishing day by day, God gives the inward man an opportunity to grow. And that's what he wants us to do. Though we're out, the exterior is perishing day by day, the inward man is growing and is fresher and is newer with a hope of eternal life that he's given each one of us. Jeff and I had several conversations. Obviously, I think he even used to come to Bible reading with me once in a while. And I know he did come from a background, a Lutheran background, same as my wife, and that is a pure and fresh and clear gospel. And Lord willing, one of these days I will be able to see Jeff again, give him a hug, and pay him the honor and the dignity that he deserves, because he was the type of guy that would give you the shirt off of his back, and yet he tried to be and portray the biggest, baddest, Billy badass you ever seen in your life, and really down inside of you just as tender as a little kitten, and a real joy for me to be around. I come from a little different cut. You know, I was without a father at a younger age, and I'd never seen the back of a police car my whole life. Praise the Lord for that. I'd never seen it. And I hung around. Larry will testify with some pretty rough, tumble dudes. You know, when we were younger and in our teenage years, it wasn't nothing to walk up and down the alley and think nothing about jumping inside somebody's house and going completely through it. Well, I was staying out there in the alley thinking to myself, Mom, I'm sure glad you told me not to do nothing wrong, because you were going to have no way to come and get me if I got in trouble. So I was a little kind of a coward, you know, so to speak. But I mean, maybe paranoid. Call me what you want. I was always the cautious type, and my personality offset Jeff's personality quite a bit. And for some reason, almost like two opposites. We have been really, really good friends for the last 27 years at least, and plenty of friends for plenty of years before that. Wonderful guy. You know, just like the fall that is upon us. It gives us an idea of just how brief life really is. Life happens fast. And as you look at the pictures of Jeff when he was just a little kid, you know, and you can see it progressing year by year, and you can continue to just move that on until there's going to come a day when we really don't have anything other than what we've done for the Lord. Only one life, it will soon be past. Only what's done for Christ will last. The only thing we're taking from here to eternity in my own little finite mind is the love that we had for him and shared with others, his love for them while we were here.
Anybody else?
youngest boy. Jeff's older brother. A lot of pictures. I'm the big one, he's the little one. Hot shot, that's what Mom used to call him. He was the hot shot. He was always in charge. I didn't know Jeff too much past his time up here. I remember him being a very energetic individual. Very, determined. He did things. I remember he was always a better baseball player than me. I remember when he played Little League, and he made Little League and I couldn't. Which was, you would think now, just the opposite. But that's just the way Jeff was. Played for a little team named Vince's, and any of you people that are from
there.
Are from down south, know
Good
Vince's.
team. That was a good team.
Yeah. Vince's Spaghetti. And it's hard for me to talk about Jeff because it's been so many years. When he moved up here, we were pretty much estranged. But I know it was for the better of Jeff, because I know if he stayed in Southern California, it probably would have happened a lot earlier in life for him. I do believe. In fact, I do believe for you too. It was a big move, and a lot of my friends at that time had to come up here. Northern California up into Oregon. To get rid of that drug addiction that Southern California brought you. And, I really commend everybody for doing that. I know it's hard leaving your, I still live pretty much on the same block I grew up on. And have Larry and Jeff and Bill, you guys move up here. Was a big step, big jump. So I don't know where to go from there. So thank you, Pete. Is anybody else?
Anybody else? You guys remember the El
Sorry.
Camino? Come on up, bro. Remember his El Camino?
Oh, yeah.
The black with the little pearl in it?
Which one,
He
the
got
one
that out.
he pushed off the cliff or the one that he drove off the cliff?
The one I hit the palm tree in when I was trying on acid. Anyway, go ahead, bro.
My name is Valente Cortez. I'm a Rodolfo's son. I'm here. I'm kind of keep it short because I'm not too much of a public speaker, but I just want to give, first of all, thank Philip for bringing Jeff into our lives. He's a really good friend. I consider Jeff a dream maker, honestly. He's a really good friend of my dad. If it wasn't for Jeff, as Phil mentioned, I don't know if we would have been able to reach my dad's dreams. When I first saw him, I was like, this guy's gonna make dream come true, build the restaurant, But Philip has been around for our establishment for a long time, and the two straight guys that I thought were doing things legit, they're the ones that screwed us over. So then when I got to know Jeff a lot better, he became a mentor in my life. He popped in and out of my life a lot, and I'll tell you what, he built 2 restaurants for my dad. The old cars that we had that me and my brothers never got around to fixing, man, he did wonders with them. Like beautiful cars. You talk about trades, construction, rebuilding cars, motorcycles, electrician, musician. The guy was amazing. I don't think you can find very many people like that are so well rounded and like you mentioned, just go for it and do the best he can. And when he put his mind to it, man, it was amazing things he could do. I learned a lot from him because he would always give me advice. I mentioned Larry once. His best advice sometimes was just don't do what I do, and you'll be good. And you know, and I was I laugh about it, but you know, because we were joking around about it, because a lot of, you know, obviously his heart was in the right place when he said that, and I knew what it meant, but I couldn't believe how after he lost his leg, how much life he still had left in him, and how much he accomplished, and he did more than somebody with two legs and healthy could do, you know, and it blew my mind. And for the last 20 years or so, when he kept saying him and my dad had a race to see who'd go first, supposedly, right? And who would take care of each other and what would happen and so forth. And, you know, he would talk about life afterwards, but he still kept living. And, you know, year after year after year, he was still around, he's still doing something, still building something. He built my dad a shop with a studio when supposedly, you know, any other person probably would have been, you know, sitting on his rocking chair, just not, I don't know, I was really amazed by the guy. So, you know, with that said, you know, I really thank for him bringing everybody else in my life, and you know, get to know you a little bit more another day and having talked with you. It's, you know, I know you were around a few times, but it's really nice. It's glad to see Philip around again, you know. But I know for me, he's going to be an inspiration for the rest of my life, because I mean, I don't think my dad has a better friend out there, so he's going to really miss him. I don't know if he could come up here and speak, let you guys know how much. But overall, great guy, and I can't wait to see him again.
Anybody else?
No, I'll bawl my eyes out, you know?
I don't know, a lot of you probably don't know me. My name's Gary. I know or knew Jeff for a little over 10 years. We did a lot together. He helped me through some hard times in my life. I just recently cleared my problem with the law, which he helped me get through some of that. I spent over a year one time. We went through about a 12-week training course of doing his dialysis at home. We did that for a whole year. You know, I used to run through that. We went and I helped him build some of his cars. And he'd go do some of the jobs that he had around Chico when he was still able to get around. That's when I first really met him. He was still getting around doing stuff. But, you know, he was always talking, this might be my last year. This might be my last year. He kept going and going and going and going. And, you know, it's kind of hard to think now that there's not somebody that I can go sit down with. We can talk about this or that, or he's gonna holler at me about this, or can you go do this for me, or nope, I don't want it done that way. Let's do it this way. But you know, what can I say? You know, towards the end, he was pretty ornery. But I can see, you know, the life that he had, that can wear on a person quickly that way. And the most I can really say right now is I think he's better where he's at, and he's no longer suffering, and I think that's what he was really doing. You know, pretty much since I knew him, he was suffering because he couldn't do everything that he used to be able to do. He still had the heart of a young man to a point, but I feel the same, you know. Outside starts wearing away, but what's inside, you know, that's where it's at. And I'll just keep him where
Hi, my name is Ron. I'm Phil's younger brother. I remember back when Jeff, we all grew up together. We were in high school together, junior high and high school. And I didn't really hang around Jeff when I was a young guy. My brother did. I had another little gang over we called the Ansel Circle. It was Jim Hammock, Michael Joe, and Jeff and my brother had his friends down there. He had Mark Warmuth, Mark Boo, the Coda Brothers. I just remember a few of them down there when I was younger. But Jeff stood out. I mean, I tell you, he was a tough guy. He did things his way. And you got to accept Jeff that way. That's how I accepted Jeff. But over the years, we all grew up and we went our different ways. I used to come up, my brother moved up here in 78, I think it was. And I come up here on vacation every year, or every other year. And when Jeff came up and started living with my brother, I was very proud of my brother for trying to help an old friend. And I look up to you, bro. I wish I had your strength, Jill, your strength too, to put up with my brother's friends. Because it wasn't just Jeff. It was Richard Ogden. It was, God, I can't remember his name. Michael Wrightson. My brother has helped so many people that we grew up with. Not that their lives were going to the left, but he saw that they needed something. And my brother was always there for each one of them. And I praise you. I love you for it, bro. I wish I had your strength, and same with you, Jill. But over the years, I used to come up here on vacation. And this is when I didn't come up here when Jeff first came up, so I really didn't know how bad he was in his situations. But when I did come up here, I looked at this man, and he was just special. He could do anything he wanted. Listen to his singing. I mean, he can grab a guitar and he could just sing out of the blue. I used to go over his house and say, Jeff, get on the guitar, sing a little bit. No, I don't want to. I said, yeah, please. And I sit there and he would just ramble off 2 or 3 songs. And, it was just so comforting to hear him and to have the ability to be an artist like that. Not even with the music, but with the construction, mechanically. The man could put it, whatever he wanted to put his mind to, he could get it done. It may not have been the right way, but it was his way. And I got to really say, I really do love the man. We had our disagreements, don't get me wrong, but in the end, he knew I really loved him. He knew I really cared for him. And this man could trust me with anything that he had. There's times that he'd come over and say, here, Ron, watch my $10,000 for me, would you? And that made me feel pretty good inside, that a man can trust me with $10,000. Because Jeff wasn't the type of man that would trust very many people. And it made me proud to be Jeff's friend. And brother, I
You trust me with his money.
there you go. It depends, bro. But anyway, I just want to say, he may not have done things the right way. He did it his way. But we all have our faults. We got to live with ourselves. But the bottom line is, he was well liked. And sometimes it was a hard life. Tough love. I love him to the death. I always will remember him. And I hope each one of you guys have that special spot in your heart for Jeff, because he was a special man. Thank you. Nice job.
Gene Warmick was the one that taught Jeff how to play.
Who was it?
Gene Warmick, Mark's older brother Gene.
Anybody else?
And they would go in the back, in that backyard, and Jeff would yell at me when I'd go back there and try to listen to him, because Jeff didn't want me to hear him play Christian music, because Gene was a Christian, and that's what the music Gene played. But it was James Taylor, If You Need a Friend, Jeff's very first song.